today I will talk about JavaScript rendering and debugging mechanism. Alright, so JavaScript, like you all know, is a browser language. Alright, so you write scripts and codes that runs on your browser, and it is important to know that as a developer you need to understand the way contents are rendered on the screen, and sometimes you bump into challenges why your contents are not rendering or are unable to render on the screen. So I will be introducing you to the concept of rendering web content on the screen, and how you can be able to debug or find out why you're having issues or challenges with your content. Alright, first, so let's begin. JavaScript can render directly to the browser using its inbuilt method. However, you don't need to do this, alright, when building an app. Okay, so the HTML should handle your rendering. Alright, so all your content should be rendered directly from your HTML. However, rendering to a document, which is your browser, from JavaScript should be for testing purpose. What this means is you can actually write a few lines of code that will display content on the browser directly from JavaScript, but this is not advisable. You should render your content from your HTML. All you have to do is, sometimes if you want to add additional functionalities, or tweak your objects or text a little bit, you can send the content to JavaScript, and JavaScript can handle some modifications, but the content will be sent back to HTML for the rendering. Alright, so HTML has a structure for rendering content to your page, and actually this is a good practice. Alright, okay, it's a very good practice, and you should use the right tools when rendering content to your browser, right, in JavaScript, and there are a whole lot of benefits for doing this. Okay, alright, so if you are new, alright, to this particular program, I would advise you to subscribe to my channel, and let's see how we can make this journey of web development a success for us all. So JavaScript renders through different mechanisms. Alright, you can render an item on the screen, an element on the screen, using the alert method. You can also do that using the .inner HTML method. You can also render to the screen using the document.write method and the console.log. Now, the alert method will display a dialog box on the screen once you render. Alright, then the .inner HTML method is another way to render, which means you send the modified content back to HTML, and HTML displays it on the screen. Okay, and then the document.write is just a direct print on the screen using JavaScript. It's just a method with a double bracket. You just type what you want to display on the screen, and then that's it. Alright, so which is this I don't recommend this if you want to create an app and display them on your screen for user to view. Alright, so now one of the most, and in fact functioning pattern you are going to use most of the time, is the console.log method, because you don't print directly on the screen, but you have a section on your browser where you can view your content, and then you can decide what part of the content you want to modify before you send it back to the HTML for rendering. Okay, so it actually prints on the screen, but on what I call a tool in JavaScript. So I'm going to take you through this so you can see how this really works.